AI is not going to take your job. Something much stranger is going to happen. You've heard the question 1,000 times, is AI going to take your job? And you've heard the two answers that dominate every headline, every panel discussion, every breathless think piece. Yes, it will. No, it won't. Both of those answers are wrong. Not because the truth is somewhere in the middle, but because the question itself is the wrong question. What's actually coming is stranger, more disruptive, and more interesting than either side of that debate is willing to admit. That's what this channel is about. Not hype, not panic, not false reassurance, just honest, clear thinking about what comes next. Let's start with the thing everyone is actually afraid of. The fear is understandable. For most of human history, technological progress eliminated some jobs and created others. The loom put hand weavers out of work, the car killed the horse and cart industry. The spreadsheet made thousands of bookkeeping roles redundant. But every time, new jobs appeared. Jobs that couldn't have been imagined before the technology existed. The loom created factory managers, textile engineers, fashion designers. The car created mechanics, traffic planners, driving instructors. The spreadsheet freed up accountants to do more complex analytical work. The economy adapted, it always adapted, and the standard reassurance, the one economists have been giving for 200 years, is that it will adapt again. They might be right. But this time, there is a difference, and it is a significant one. Every previous wave of automation replaced human physical labour or human mechanical thinking. The loom replaced hands, the calculator replaced arithmetic, the production line replaced repetitive assembly. What AI is replacing, or beginning to replace, is human cognitive labour. The stuff we thought was safe, the stuff that required a degree, a professional qualification, years of experience. Writing, analysis, legal research, medical diagnosis, financial planning, code, design, customer service at a sophisticated level. These are not factory floor jobs. These are the jobs that the previous waves of automation were supposed to push us towards. The safe harbour, the things only humans could do, and that harbour is no longer as safe as it was. Let me be precise about what AI can and cannot do right now, because the conversation gets muddled when people talk about AI as though it's one thing. The AI that exists today, the large language models, the image generators, the coding assistants, is extraordinarily good at pattern recognition and pattern reproduction. It has consumed more human-generated text, image and code than any human being could read in 1,000 lifetimes, and it can recombine those patterns with impressive fluency. What it cannot do, yet, is genuinely reason from first principles. It cannot reliably know when it is wrong. It does not understand the world the way you understand the world. It has no stake in the outcome, no genuine curiosity, no lived experience to draw on. This matters because most complex professional work is not just pattern reproduction. It is judgment, context, the ability to know which rule applies and when the rule should be broken, the ability to read a room, understand a client, make a call under uncertainty with incomplete information. A lawyer who uses AI to research case law still needs to know which cases actually matter for this client in this situation. A doctor who uses AI to flag potential diagnoses still needs to understand the patient sitting in front of them. A software engineer who uses AI to generate code still needs to understand what the code is supposed to do and whether what came out actually does it. For now, AI is an extraordinarily powerful tool in the hands of a skilled professional. The question is how long that remains true. Here is where it gets genuinely interesting. The economists who study this talk about a concept called task displacement rather than job displacement. A job is not one thing, it is a bundle of tasks. An AI does not replace jobs wholesale. It replaces specific tasks within jobs. A radiologist's job involves looking at scans, yes, but it also involves talking to patients, consulting with surgeons, making judgment calls about edge cases, taking responsibility for decisions that affect human lives. AI can already match or exceed human performance on reading certain types of scan in controlled conditions. But the full job of a radiologist involves far more than reading scans. So what happens is not that the radiologist disappears. What happens is that the radiologist spends less time reading routine scans and more time doing everything else. Their productivity increases, which means you need fewer radiologists to cover the same workload, which means fewer radiologists get hired. The job doesn't vanish, it contracts quietly over years, without a single dramatic announcement. This is already happening across dozens of professions simultaneously, not with a bang, with a slow, steady erosion of the routine cognitive work that used to fill a working day. And here is the thing nobody in the jobs debate wants to say clearly. That is going to be very hard for a lot of people, particularly people who are mid-career, who trained for a specific role, who built their identity around a particular kind of expertise, who don't have 20 years to retrain for something new. The economy will adapt. It always has. But the economy adapting and individual people adapting are two very different things. And the gap between them is where a lot of pain lives. So what actually comes next? 3 things, I think. And none of them map neatly onto the AI takes your job or AI creates new jobs framing. The first is a radical increase in individual leverage. Right now, a single person with access to good AI tools can do work that previously required a team. A solo founder can build a product, write the marketing copy, handle customer queries, analyze their own data, and produce content, all with AI assistance at a quality level that would have required 5 or 6 specialists a decade ago. This is already happening. The barrier to building something, making something, starting something has never been lower in human history. For people who are entrepreneurial, curious, and willing to learn, this is an extraordinary moment. The tools available to an individual today are more powerful than what entire corporations had access to 15 years ago. The second is a restructuring of what expertise means. For most of the 20th century, expertise meant knowing things other people didn't know. A lawyer knew the law. A doctor knew medicine. An accountant knew tax code. Information was scarce, and those who had it were valuable. Information is no longer scarce. AI has democratized access to knowledge in a way that genuinely changes what it means to be an expert. What remains valuable, what AI cannot replicate, is judgment, relationships, trust, and accountability. The doctor who knows you. The lawyer who understands not just your legal situation, but your actual life. The advisor who has been wrong before and learned from it. Expertise is shifting from knowing to deciding, from information to wisdom, and wisdom, for now, remains stubbornly human. The third is the one that keeps serious thinkers up at night. If AI continues to improve at its current rate, and there is no strong reason to think it won't, then the task displacement we are seeing now is just the beginning. The jobs that get created to work alongside AI today may themselves be displaced by AI tomorrow. The radiologist who supervises the AI reading scans may find, in 10 years, that the AI no longer needs supervising. The software engineer who reviews AI-generated code may find, in 5 years, that the AI reviews its own code more reliably than they can. At some point, and nobody knows exactly when, the question stops being which tasks AI can do, and starts being which tasks AI cannot do better than humans. And that is a much smaller list than most people are comfortable admitting. Here is where I land on this. For now, I don't think AI is going to take your job tomorrow, or next year. Probably not in the next 5 years in any simple, direct sense. But I think the nature of almost every knowledge-based job is going to change significantly in the next decade. The tasks that fill your day are going to shift. The skills that make you valuable are going to shift. The number of people needed to do what you currently do is going to shift. The people who will navigate this best are not necessarily the most technically skilled. They are the ones who stay curious, who learn to work with these tools rather than against them or in denial of them, who double down on the things that remain stubbornly human: judgment, relationships, creativity, accountability, empathy. And the question worth sitting with, the one I think is more useful than will AI take my job, is this. What part of what I do every day could only be done by a human being who has lived a life, made mistakes, built relationships and earned trust. Whatever your answer is, that's where your value lives. That's what to protect. That's what to develop, because that is what comes next. In my next video, I want to explore what happens when we stop dying, not as a thought experiment, as a genuine possibility that serious scientists are working on right now. What longevity research actually looks like, how far it has come, and what it means for everything: work, relationships, power, meaning, if it actually works. See you then.